honestly, loneliness will make you do things you never, when I say never, imagine. Your ex from the past gonna start looking real good when you're lonely. Honestly, if I really wanted to be engaged right now, I really could be. I really could be with my ex right now, like engaged, like by tomorrow, if I really wanted to go back.
Blessings coming our way, yeah, yeah, yeah. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I can see the blessings coming our way, our way.
Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. If you are new here, hi, my name is Tasha, and if you're a return watcher, welcome back to my channel. And as y'all can see from the title below, we're gonna have some girl chat, just me and the girls, like. And a lot of us women and men go through a feeling of loneliness where we tend to settle in certain situations that we know we have no business being in. I think this will be a great conversation to have. So I got my cran grape juice and my wine glass. We gonna get comfortable, kick up your feet, put on your bonnets. Like, we are about to have some tea time and really just be honest here and really just dig deep into why we do the things we do when we're lonely. But before we start today's video, make sure you guys subscribe and click the bell so you can be notified every time I post. And because I really see some people watching, but y'all not subscribing. Like, do we have commitment issues? Is it like a test trial? Are we just like trying to feel me out? I know I'm dramatic and animated, so it might scare you a little, but I promise I don't bite. So I'm gonna give y'all 5 seconds to subscribe. Don't worry, I have all day.
A few minutes later.
Okay, great. Now that you're acquainted and subscribed, let's dig deep into this girl chat. So I really want to talk about this topic today because I always have this conversation with my best friend all the time, and we hold each other accountable, especially within our single season. And we had a conversation about like how we handle ourselves during this time being single. And I've noticed certain habits she's done, she's noticed certain habits I've done, and we try to hold each other accountable. We was just having a conversation about like settling, and and we talked about sometimes where we settle because out of loneliness or the feeling of being wanted, the feeling of validation. And I'm just like, there are so many women that do that, where we be in places where we have no business being in, and we need to stop doing that, and we need to hold each other accountable, because you feeling lonely in the moment does not give you a right to go back to a season where God has called you out of. Not even going back, but even pursuing someone that you know darn well you never envisioned being with at all. Society puts so much pressure about marriage at a certain time and view singleness as a bad thing, like there's something wrong with you, especially when you hit a certain age. And if you don't have a family by then, if you don't have children by then, it's like that pressure that you're supposed to have it all together. And it's just like, if y'all really knew, at least this time and this age, the dating generation is trash. Like, I don't know if there's piss in this pool or whatever the case may be, but we don't, I can only speak for myself, the lineup here is insane. Like, there's not that much amazing options, and it's like some women, I feel like they work with what's just there. Like, it's just not a lot of availability, especially like men of God. I just feel like because it's so scarce and it's so rare to find a good man, we settle with what we have in front of us. Honestly, I'm clocking myself too, because I have fell into this where I settled because I was feeling lonely. And sometimes sometimes we have family members that's always questioning.
You still ain't got a man yet? When are you getting married? Are you gonna have kids?
It's like, ma'am, why are you so invested in my love life for you to put this pressure for me to have a man? Like, what if I was genuinely single and happy and I'm just chilling? And I don't want to downplay the feeling of loneliness. It's okay to have those moments where you want to be loved by somebody and you want to be in a relationship. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just the choices we make as women or even men, what we do in that feeling and the people we try to entertain during that loneliness feeling. Literally, God talks about it in Ecclesiastic chapter 5, the advantages of companionship. And in verse 9 it says, 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other person reaches out to help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. So God literally talks about the benefits of having a companion, and not just romantically, but also in all aspects: family, friends, a community. So we are not designed to be alone. So the feeling is totally normal. But what we choose to do with that and that feeling of loneliness, now that's where we need to talk and we need to do better. I'm gonna throw myself under the bus real quick. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've never settled before. Like, I've had examples where I had a moment where I felt lonely and my past was looking real familiar just to fulfill that void. For example, right, I was dating someone in my past around like 2021, 2022. I was dating him, and it was such an unhealthy situation where I felt like I was pouring more into this person versus me. I wasn't getting treated the way as a woman deserved to be treated. So yeah, we dated, it didn't work out, heartbroken, blah blah blah. I moved on. Literally, like, I was focused on myself. I was focusing on just like my new like godly relationships that I built, and just literally living my life. And then I moved to Houston. And y'all, literally, this is like a year and a half after we ended, and as soon as I touched down in Houston, and mind you, I'm not thinking about this person anymore. I moved on. I'm just like, whatever, it happened, it helped me grow, yada yada yada. And this person ends up contacting me. Mind you, he never writes me. Like, he never contacts me or checks up on me, especially in the time where I was trying to fight for the relationship. Mind you, 2 days after I moved to Houston, he literally contacted me, and he never reaches out. And I was so shocked, and I'm like, it's so ironic. As soon as I moved to Houston, you're reaching out to me. And I automatically knew, like, God, this is nothing but the enemy. I'm in the promised land and I want no parts. And he was just checking in on me. Now, this is where I'm gonna be honest. During that time, you know, I felt like, you know, God, I haven't dated in a while, and I'm not gonna lie, I entertained the conversation, but not in a romantic way, just like regular conversation with him. Even though I felt like, girl, there's really nothing to talk about. He would constantly reach out, and where I played a part in this is that when he would reach out, I would respond. And I feel like I'm just as crazy as him hitting me up. I was just as insane to keep responding to him, even though it was not in a romantic way. But it's just like, God told me what I needed to know about this situation, and because I just wanted attention and it was just all I knew, I would just entertain the conversation. Fast forward now, this man is professing his love for me. Like, never done it before while we was even dating. He's talking about, like, I'm his wife and I'm his spirit spouse. And when I said, I had to rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Like, this man, like, you know how us girls, we could be delusional with men. I feel like I was on the opposite side of the spectrum. Like, he was delusional and I was the one like, what are you talking about? So he's just talking about like, you're my wife, you know, I envision us having children, and like, I want to marry you, all these things. And I didn't feel anything. However, because I was feeling a sense of loneliness at the time, I was entertaining like, oh yeah, like, why you love me? Like, tell me why. Because I was just curious. It feels good to know, like, why do you love me? Like, boy, I don't want you, but like, I just want to know. And you know, he would, the more I felt like I was entertaining the conversation, I just gave him more reason to reach out. And that's where I have to take accountability, because I know I have no parts, I have zero feelings for this person anymore, and I was entertaining it just because I was feeling lonely and it was familiar. And you know, God revealed like, I need to close this door. Like, you just, even if it's a conversation where it's just a check-in or just being nice, I feel like it's still leaving some type of door or hope for the next person. And I don't want that, because I have moved on to a new chapter in my life and I'm good. So long story short, I had this whole analysis with God, and I had to realize I need to completely no contact with this person. And and I'm not gonna say we talk like all the time. It would be like maybe once a month, like it's a hit up or something. But the fact that I entertained it, I was just like, you're low-key leaving that door open for him to think it's okay to contact you. And the crazy thing is, I've expressed like, I don't feel like we need to have communication, we don't need to talk. But then when he reaches out, I respond. So it's just like, Tasha, you're really just as crazy as him, so what are you doing? Just because I was just bored and I wanted entertainment, I'll keep it a stack. Like, I have no business talking with a man, especially a man that did not deserve me or treat me well, although he is forgiven. I promised myself I would never look back in that situation, and I really mean that. Like, I could not ever go back in that situation ever again in life. And I came to my senses and I ended up blocking his contact. So, and I'm good, like, whatever. If I would have said yes and gave him another chance about marriage, I really could be engaged. So if there's like a person in your past that God has revealed that person is not your spouse, or you know, it's a situation that you're supposed to close the door on, please do it. Because even the smallest communication, depending on how everybody's situation is different, so some people leave off being friends, some people end up being cool, or you have kids with that person, or whatever the case may be. But if it's like a toxic situation and you know God has pulled you and dragged you out of it, I would suggest, even if that person contacts you, and I know like the feeling of loneliness and familiarity, it is so easy to settle, especially if there's easy access to it. It's not worth it, because it's just going to prolong, it's just going to set you back 10 times. And sis, we're trying to elevate. So that's just an example of a time where I would always settle and go back to my past because it was just there and it was familiar. Now, to my ladies in Christ, and I know we probably have done this so many times. Every time we see a man of God, especially a fine one, when we see a fine man of God, we automatically think, that's my husband. He the one. He praised the Lord and he opens my door. No, that honestly is inclusive in this walk of Christ. You gotta have a relationship with God. You dang right you're supposed to be a man of God. At least like for my standard, that is inclusive. You're supposed to be submitted to God, pray, live a lifestyle as a child of God. Like that, I feel like that's mandatory. And I really had to tell myself that just because you're a man of God does not mean I need to date you. Like, it really does not. I really had to tell myself the other day, because I really think, for real, the options out here really are trash. So when we see a good guy, especially a man submitted to Christ, yeah, they gonna look real good, thinking, oh, there's a chance he might be my husband. Maybe he could, or maybe he's just meant to be a brother in Christ. Because there's a lot of sheeps in wolf clothing, so we gotta make sure we use our discernment. And another example, because I did, like, literally, I'm not kidding, I'm doing this actually right now, and I feel like I'm catching myself. So I'm cool with the guy, right? Like, he contacted me through social media, and he's been so sweet, like a man of God, and we talk literally every day, like FaceTime call. You know, we basically built a relationship like we're friends. And I'm not gonna lie, he has some qualities of a husband that I would want, but I don't, till this day, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with men. I just want to focus on my purpose, on what I need to do. So, you know, the more I talk with him, he's a good guy, like I said, man of God. We'll have conversations, we'll pray. He's been there, like, just like as a typical friend. And I low-key friend zoned him before he even tried anything. So he, you know, he's been respectful of my boundaries, and I'm just like, ooh, okay, like a real nice gentleman, blah blah blah. So I'm not gonna hold you, there was a moment where I was feeling like, you know, I feel like now I'm getting like, I don't have a lot of male friends, so it is nice to have a man, especially a man of Christ, that I have a relationship with, like on a friend level, of course. But I feel like I was starting to head in the mindset like, okay, he got some qualities and he's nice and he loves God, so I think I'm starting to feel him, and it's just going back and forth. However, this is where you want to grab your cup. However, I just don't feel, I was trying to figure out this feeling, because I'm like, God, I think I like him, but I don't feel the physical chemistry. We haven't met in person yet, and we've been like talking for months because he lives in a different state, but we are gonna, because he lives in a different state, but we do plan on hanging out or whatever. And I don't feel physically, like, I realized I didn't feel physically attracted to him. And this is like, not like, when I say he's very handsome, he's a handsome guy, but personally I know what I like, and he's just not my type, like, for me. And I don't know, in my head I was like, dang, Tasha, like, I feel like I'm being shallow because I'm just not attracted to him and he's not my type. Like, I don't want to be that person that's superficial, like, he, you know, I don't know, I just didn't want to feel like I was being superficial, so I feel like I was forcing it, like forcing myself to like him romantically. I was just in my little period of just, you know, I was in my head like, yo, like, I really am almost 30, and I know there's like so much engagements happening, marriage, all these things, and what, right? And like I said, it's not a lot of options out here, but this guy, he's nice and he's good and he's a man of God, so let me try to like him. And this is me being honest, like, for real. So, but I just knew, like, the physical, like, I couldn't really envision even kissing him. I really couldn't. And I don't know, like, God tends to speak to me like really early in the morning, and he was just like, you're still settling. You may think like settling is just like in terms of like how someone treats you or whatever the case may be, but in my aspect with this situation, I felt like I was settling, like I was trying to force it with the physical attraction. So I was just settling like, you know, if I really just like take a look and squint my eye, we can make him my type. We can make him my type. We can make it work. And the third, and like I said, this person is handsome. Like, I really think he is a great guy. I think he's stand-up. I think he will really be a great husband. And not to knock down, like, maybe one day we might give it a shot. I don't know. I'm just talking. But I just know right now, I just don't feel physically like... Let me tell you something. I feel like physical is just as important as emotional connection. I really do. I know people's like, it's not all about looks. It's not. I feel like there's more layers. However, the first thing you see is the person, like that instant spark, that instant attraction, and I don't feel that. And I just realized, like literally realized this like a week ago. So this is like fresh off of me coming to this realization. And you know, if I can't even envision kissing you, it's just like, you know, just that fire, like, oh my gosh, I want to just kiss him and just like love on him, blah blah blah. And I don't feel that, and I feel like I was forcing it. And I had to realize, Tasha, this is a form of settling. Like, you're trying to force yourself being attracted to him, and I'm just like, I don't feel that. I know I have a certain type, and also I didn't want to box myself to what physically I like, so I was trying to force it. And let me tell you something, I at least have to feel like I can envision kissing you, and I don't feel like I have reached that point. I haven't felt that. And let's just say this, right? When I get married, and when the pastor says, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Good night. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, thank you for celebrating our union. Forget the reception. Get home safe. Thank you for the gifts. Baby, everybody out. Tonight I'm gonna dance for you. Oh, whoa, whoa. Tonight I'm gonna dance for you. Oh, whoa, whoa. I don't feel that right now. I don't feel tonight I'm gonna dance for, like, I don't feel that. I don't feel the oh whoa whoa. I feel like with him it's just like, you're a true friend. You're there till the end, with a slight oh whoa whoa. You know what, I'm being, no, I'm not even, I don't even think I'm feeling the whoa whoa. I feel like it's more like a it's a true friend with a mixture of like, you know, like that's how I feel right now. Like, who's to know, things may change, but it's giving true friends with a mixture of, you know. And I don't want to force the whoa whoa. Like, I need to feel the full dance for you vibe with the man I'm gonna be with. And I think I'm forcing it, and I really be in my head like talking to myself like that, and I'm just taking y'all on my, this video is not about me, but I just want to let y'all know, like, I be doing it too, like, and I'm trying to break out that habit. And I'm glad, like, there really has been points I will settle for a long period of time, but now I feel like as I'm growing, I'm starting to catch myself early, like, you know, hey, as much as I want love as the next person, I want to be sure, I want to be with the man that God has called me to be, and somebody I have that chemistry, that attraction, you know, somebody that is also a man of God, and all these different characteristics I'm looking for in a husband, and so much more. And how we gonna find that if we keep looking back in our past, just because we are in the feeling of loneliness? And I want to talk about as well, what can we do in this period? And I'm not gonna say, and I know, like, I know somebody's gonna probably think, well, I I've been single for 10 years and I've been doing that my whole life, like dedicating it to God. I want a man. Baby, I get it. It is hard in this waiting season. It is hard, especially when you're being obedient to God and the only thing you feel like is missing is that relationship or marriage. And when someone is single, especially for a long period of time, and you feel like you've done the work, which most likely you really have, God has reminded me as well, sometimes it's not about what you're not doing, or sometimes it's really not about what you're not doing. Maybe God has prepared you for marriage or prepared you for a relationship. Maybe your husband or wife is not prepared yet to meet you. Maybe your husband and wife has a lot of growing to do, and that's why you guys have not joined, and maybe that's why you guys have not met yet, or whatever the case may be. I feel like there's a reason why you probably have not connected with that person, whether it's within you some deliverance that needs to happen, some trauma that needs to be broken off, whether if it's just like God has an assigned task for you to fulfill. I want to just read to y'all real quick on 1 Corinthians 7 chapter 7, and it's verse 32, and it says, I want you to be free from the concern of this life, as an unmarried man can spend his time doing the Lord's work and thinking about how to please him. God is preparing you. God wants you to focus on doing the work of the Lord. He wants you to focus on your purpose, and I promise you, and I really believe it, when you're focused on your purpose and you're doing the assignment that God has for you, I feel like everything is connected to your purpose. And what I mean by that, let's just say God has told you your purpose is to start a ministry, or your purpose is to be a pastor. I don't know, whatever the purpose God has for you, it could be multiple things. But I truly believe the purpose that God has for you, it's going to be attached to multiple things. And what I mean by that, your purpose could be attached to your financial breakthrough. Your purpose can also be attached to helping, delivering multiple people and planting seeds. And also your purpose could be attached or lead you to meeting your spouse, if you just follow what God has instructed you to do. So it may not make sense now, and I know I'm going on a tangent and I'm like talking about different topics, but I promise it all connects. But that time that you're feeling like just lonely, and like I said, this is not to diminish it, because we're human and we are not designed to be alone, because God, don't leave me hanging. But in the meantime, focus on your purpose, and you never know. And most likely with your purpose, if you align with the steps that God has told you to follow, you don't know who you'll meet in your path. You never know the connections you will meet through your path. I do want to leave you with some questions that might help you decipher if you need to be in this situation that you're in, just with dating in general. I actually got this question from Bible study, or I should say in membership class. We are actually on the topic about relationships, and when dating, I think it's important to ask yourself these questions. And ask yourself, why am I in this relationship? Are you in this relationship because you just want attention right now? Are you in this relationship because you're feeling lonely? Are you in this relationship because you truly feel ready to date and God has given you the green light? Like, what is your relationship? I mean, what is your reasoning in being in this relationship? Is this relationship pushing me or away from God? And that's a big question to ask. Is this relationship pushing me towards or away from God? And then the next question is, what attracted me to this person? So what is this relationship doing to me spiritually? What is this relationship doing to me emotionally, financially, and physically? And also, how does this relationship affect me with others? I would say take that time and really journal that and ask yourself, if you're in a current situation, I would say take the time, write it out, your answers, think clearly through it. And I feel like based on your response that you write down, that's up to you to assess if you're meant to be in that relationship. If you're just there because you're just feeling lonely or whatever the case may be. Like, you have to be very transparent with yourself and just face the harsh reality and just be like, you know what, maybe I am in this relationship because I'm scared of being alone, or I'm afraid that I won't meet anybody, or because my family won't let up about me having a man, so I just found something that was convenient, or whatever the case may be. And I promise you, God will bring clarity. But I just do not want us to settle. I want us to do better. And you want to leave that door open for what God has for you, to bring the correct person into your life, to bring your husband into your life, to bring your wife into your life. And he's not gonna do it if you keep opening up doors that were meant to be shut from your past, or just doors that never needed to be open at all. Continue to seek God for guidance and just pour into things that make you happy. And I really do hope that this video was insightful. I hope this video makes you think a little more, and like the questions that I provided that I got in from church, I just maybe just take the time to answer those and just assess your situation. Don't settle because you're lonely. Just don't settle in general. Don't settle, period. Like, we are God's daughter, okay? We deserve the best. And you already know our daddy upstairs is gonna come through, do his big one if we allow him to. Give him the room to blow our minds and for us to be prepared to meet the person that we're meant to be with. And in the meantime, girl, enjoy your single season. In the meantime, do the Lord's work. In the meantime, just have fun. But that is the ending of today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed this girl talk. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, guys.